The process of awakening and living in enlightenment is a profound journey that has been explored by spiritual traditions for centuries. From Hinduism and Buddhism in the East to Western mysticism, many have sought to explain what it means to awaken and live in enlightenment. Yet enlightenment remains misunderstood, often seen as an elusive goal meant only for a select few. However, in the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, enlightenment is understood as something far more immediate. It is not a special state to attain, but the realization of our true nature. It is waking up to the reality that we are not separate beings, but pure consciousness. This realization transcends body, mind, time, and space, showing us that we are the awareness in which all things arise. Enlightenment, as explained in Advaita Vedanta, is not a reward for spiritual practice. It is not granted by a divine figure. It is the simple recognition of what we have always been, eternal, limitless consciousness. There is no becoming or transforming. Instead, we peel away the false identities we've built over our lifetime, shedding ignorance and illusions. As these fall away, we recognize that enlightenment is the natural state of existence. The greatest barrier to this realization is the ego. The ego makes us believe we are individual, separate beings. It creates the illusion of duality, which brings about suffering, fear, and attachment. In the teachings of Vedanta, the ego is nothing but a mental construct, built from thoughts and conditioning. To dissolve this illusion, we must inquire deeply into our true self by asking, who am I? The ego, as seen through Vedanta, is an illusion, and self-inquiry allows us to see that our true nature is the awareness that observes it all. Awakening begins when we start to question the reality of our separate identity. It is often brought on by dissatisfaction with life, deep suffering, or a yearning for something more. As we turn inward, through practices like self-inquiry and meditation, we begin to see the ego for what it is, a false sense of self. In meditation, we sit in stillness, allowing the mind to settle naturally. The mind quiets, and the true self, pure consciousness, can be experienced directly. Silence is the gateway to this awareness. As we awaken, our perception of the world shifts. We begin to see that the world is not separate from us. The external world, once seen as solid and real, is understood as a projection of the mind. The illusion of separation dissolves, bringing a sense of unity with all that exists. This realization also marks the end of suffering. Challenges and pain may arise, but the awakened individual sees them for what they are, passing phenomena, unable to disturb the peace of the true self. To live in enlightenment is to live as an expression of pure consciousness. This state is marked by bliss, contentment, and inner peace. The enlightened person no longer clings to external circumstances or identifies with the ego. They live in the present, free from attachments and fears. This deep peace allows them to move through life with compassion, love, and clarity. They understand that all beings are part of the same consciousness, which gives rise to boundless compassion and love for all. Life in enlightenment does not mean challenges disappear, but it changes how we face them. Enlightened individuals respond to challenges with equanimity. They no longer resist what is, knowing that everything is part of the unfolding of consciousness. They accept life as it is, without resistance or attachment, moving through the world with calm, clarity, and deep peace. The process of awakening and living in enlightenment is not reserved for a select few. It is the natural realization of our true nature, the dissolution of false identities, and the recognition that we are pure consciousness. This awakening brings an end to suffering, as we live fully in the present moment, free from attachment, fear, and the illusion of separation. Enlightenment is not something we must strive for, it is the ever-present reality of who we are.